All right, everybody, let's get started. Let's get this meeting to order. This is our third meeting here today, and do we have a quorum of the board?
We do. We have Corey Gagnon, Secretary President, Vice President Manuel Perez, and President Mario Cordova President in the room. And then we have our Treasurer Ariel Beckford on the phone.
Thank you. Can you please verify if this meeting was properly noticed?
Meeting was noticed properly. There was notices put up at the front gate, immediately, and at the clubhouse prior to 48 hours notice.
Very good. All right, community progress. So we've been very busy, guys. We've had pretty much meetings every day, looking into a lot of different things. And, it's been quite overwhelming how much work needs to be done to bring this community to what we promised. But nevertheless, it is what we promised, and this is what we're going to do. So right now, I think the biggest issues is landscaping, management, filling the board seats. These are all kind of our priorities, and also dealing with a lot of the backlog of ARC requests and violations. So all that is in the pipeline. I know we've been a little slow to get going, but we thought there wasn't going to be as much as there is to do. So bear with us. Over time, I think we'll be able to exceed your expectations. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about with progress in the community?
No, I just want to say thank you to all those that stepped up for committees, the work that you're starting to do. It will definitely help the community. So those of you who did step up and take on that volunteer role, thank you very much. We look forward to meeting with you in the future and all of the ideas you come up with that. This is our community.
And I want to thank you, all of you that are following, being easy on us, since we started. I want to thank you. And also for following all the direction when you need to submit something, you submit it with the right channel. So that makes it easier for us and for everybody to know what has to be done. So thank you so much, and we keep working for you guys.
Okay. Thank you, Herman and Corey. Manager's report. Everyone has had a chance to review the minutes for both the meeting. Well, let's do one at a time. Our initial meeting on July 28th. Herman? Yes?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes, I had just.
And Ariel? Anyway, so does somebody want to make a motion to approve these minutes as stated?
I do a motion to approve July 28th minutes.
I second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Approved as written. Now we're going to move on to approve the minutes for the special meeting on August 4th. Everyone has had an opportunity to read those minutes. Are there any corrections?
No.
Okay, so anybody want to move to accept the special meeting minutes of August 4th?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right. The financial statement, everyone had a chance to review
Correct.
the financial statement. Any discrepancies or concerns?
So far,
Okay, can somebody move to accept the financial statements as they are?
I do a motion to accept the financial statements.
a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to legal counsel report. Do you have anything for us, legal counsel?
Specific, just as said last meeting, we've been going back and forth with our councils to get status on these outstanding litigation cases. We were trying to put together for September 22nd. These callers and call and ways to get what's been billed on each one of these outstanding file status is, and pull back the ones that we typically try to settle when we go away. As opposed to with the reports, and it's all kind of all someone else.
Okay, thank you, Council. Okay, moving on. Do we have any old business pending that we need to talk about? No? Okay. So right now, I don't think you have any committee reports, right? I think all the committees have met and have kind of, try to, I guess, decide what their plan is going to be. But I don't think they've executed anything yet that they can report to you. But hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have a better report for you guys from the committee in terms of what the process is and what they're planning to do for us. Let's move on to new business. As most of you know, that we've had this website we created a couple years ago. We're building upon it to inform the community and be able to create the transparency that everybody in the community wants. Most of you are signed up for it. If you're not, you should sign yourself up. There's a lot of valuable information and direction on there. And, you know, it'll help us also be able to get a lot of information to everyone in a timely fashion, because the website does have a lot of capabilities that sometimes a lot of the other apps are lacking that we're being provided. So, is anybody, so we want to, you know, since we started it before we were board members, it was kind of an official source of information. But we would like to adopt it as our official website so that it belongs to us, the community, and hopefully we can have a lot more content, a lot more direction on that over time. Does anybody want to say anything about the website here at the board?
Well, this website is gonna, like Mario was saying, for you guys, if you have any issue, you're gonna have a work order pack where you can submit pictures, submit the issue that you have, and us, we're gonna know when that was submitted, so at least we can track. Obviously, management will, you know, contact you, but at least it's an oversight. The same thing with architecture review is there, compliance, any complaints that you have, any issue, maybe with a neighbor or something that you can analyze and maybe the board can help in some way. So we're trying to create a website where you guys can use it as a tool, you know, for the community.
Anything from Corey?
Yeah, I think, some of the reason behind this we'd like to share with you is the idea that when a management company comes in, they provide all the tools to us as a community, but they also take that tool with them. This is proprietary, right? So we lose some of that information, we lose some of that content that has been built up in there, whether it be contact information, whether it be that longevity, think of it as those things that the historical record can only be kept in a certain way. Yes, we have to keep certain records for legal purposes for the community, but this will allow us to kind of have a united spot in one spot that's familiar to everyone, even though faces may change, companies may change, and this is owned entirely by Village Soul. So it's not something that's going to disappear, it's something that's going to change. And we were hoping for that consistent face look feel for our community, opposed to having companies that flip flop different things change. So that's really kind of the thing that we're learning on the board. In order to give you some consistency, we would like to make this kind of that base place for you guys to go. The website has tons of capabilities. We're using like that much of it to be honest with you. But it is really kind of an interesting idea to have with us. And if you look at down the future, if we ever decide that we just want to manage something to manage us, we want to manage ourselves, this tool being in place will allow us to have everything kind of in place and ready to go. And we can get the ground running, opposed to trying to take everything management's giving to us, interpolating it, putting it in something to try to start stuff. So that's really the idea behind this. And Mario, I'd like to open it up to the.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions regarding the website or any concerns that they would like to comment on, now is the time. It's viasolresidence.com. It also, so that's the original URL. It's the one. We also have created Viasol, is it viasolhoa.com?
Correct.
They both work. Taking the same spot. Okay, Camilo? Oh, I thought somebody else raised their hand. Sorry. Oh, Juan? Juan, what's your question?
The audio on the legal counsel and on the back over here. Yeah, the doesn't sound good. So you may have to move the microphone or something closer.
Sorry, should I say it again then, right?
Yeah.
So I was just saying, I'm gonna reiterate, because I was muted on the online thing. So in recent days, after our second meeting, we had a couple of records requests that came through, and management went frantic looking for answers on how to provide the records, if they should provide the records. And I just wanted to go on the record stating that our board is transparent. We want everyone that lives here and is an owner to have records from our HOA that they're legally responsible to have, or legally have the right to have. And therefore, we're in the process of establishing a process where management shouldn't have to call us or email us or ask us if something is appropriate for you guys to see it. I think this might have been some behavior in the past, and I just want you to know that, you know, if management at any time tells you that they have to check with the board if they can give you something, let us know, because that's not our direction. Okay, our direction is that if you legally have the right to have it, you should have it, and it shouldn't take a while. It should be almost immediately, especially if they have it, you know, readily available electronically. So, but, you know, the state does give us 10 days to provide it, but I want to provide it as soon as possible. With that being said, I'm moving on to the next. Any questions or comments?
I want to add what he was saying. So what we're trying to do also using our website is to have all the documents in there, because we can label who's owner and who's not. So the owners will be able to see those documents. The ones that are renters, obviously not, because you need to register as a renter. The website check who you are, if you're a homeowner or not. But in there, we're going to be able to put all the documents, so you don't need to go and request anything. You go there, click, download, and watch it. You know, look all the financials every month, see everything. That's what we're trying to do as well.
Corey, anything on that? Okay, anybody have any questions regarding record search or what we're doing with that? Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So do we have the community compliance process? Council? Okay, everybody reviewed it?
Yeah, and so if you're okay with that procedure, then you just make a motion to.
Yeah. Okay, so
Would you just for the community.
Just give the highlights on it so that,
Over there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't in charge of the technology.
Yeah, I was, that's my goal.
I took a template that I had done for another community and just kind of laid out what I thought was a fair process for doing compliance stuff in your neighborhood. Now, you guys have landscaping that's included in your monthly package. So all of that, yard, all that stuff, it's not really an issue. So this would be more about like, painting your house an unapproved color or doing an improvement that you didn't get approved by an ARC where the compliance committee would come around and check your property. But the process that they're talking about is you would get a letter, then you get the rest of the month to cure it. If it's still not done by the next inspection, you get another letter to try to cure it. And if it's still not done by basically rolling into the third month, then you would get a letter inviting you to come to a meeting with the compliance committee and explain why you should not be fined for not fixing whatever it is that was done improperly. So you're talking about a process that's rolling into like 90 days before you're even talking about getting a fine. And even then, the compliance committee, if you call ahead of time or if you come to the meeting, you'd be like, look, I'm working on it. I just need however much time, it is that you need to fix it. And the compliance committee can just put it all on hold anyway. Right. So the point though is that the people that are likely going to get fined from this are the ones that just like bury their head in the sand and don't do anything about it. They get 3 letters and they just like, I'm not messing with it. Well, okay, but if you're not going to call us back and talk to us about it, how do we know you're working on it? Right. So that's like the overall process. So the management company would do their inspection. You get a letter, they do another inspection, you get another letter, and then by the third letter, now the compliance committee is doing a walk around and you come to a meeting with them and you can hash it out. And if they say, yeah, that's a violation, then you can start getting fined. Or if they're like, no, that's not a violation, then it'll just get dropped. So that's like the brief version. Anybody have any questions about that? So I mean, you're talking like a 90-day process to solve issues before it even comes to talking about fines. So
Had an issue. This is ongoing since before Intermark.
yeah, so this policy would be effective from the time of adoption moving forward. If you're already in the system, then we need to work something out to get you back in compliance. Okay, and if we can meet offline to talk about your specific situation and what we can do to fix it. Okay.
Just to clarify, the inspections will be done by the manager. Now, the compliance committee members may join the manager from time to time, just so they can learn what the process is like and also provide a little bit of oversight. But once the manager has issued the initial letter, the compliance committee would be involved in following through the process that Chris just delineated. And in addition to exterior stuff, we're going on this document, we're also going after the people that don't clean up after their pads, people that are making too much noise and disrupting our peace. There's a lot of other things on there. We're going to post it once it gets executed, and you guys will be able to read through it and actually see what all the little details are. Okay? Can I get a motion to approve this community compliance process? Next time we have stuff here. What's the question?
To speak.
Got a question? Let's hear it.
You're on, Mr. R or Mrs. R. You have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Nope. Are you doing it? Hit the unmute at the microphone at the top right.
Here we go.
You hear you? Hello?
You hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. You muted themselves or maybe their service. If you can't get through, you could also type it into the chat and we'll ask the question for you. You're coming in and out. Okay, we'll move on or? Let me know if they type something back, all right? So somebody wants to make a motion to adopt the community compliance document that has been presented.
Make motion to adopt the compliance document as proposed.
I second.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, now we're moving on to the appointment of the board vacancies. We have 3 seats vacant right now, as we said at the first meeting, and we've gotten good volunteers to come in. And basically, you know, we haven't had the opportunity, as busy as we haven't had the opportunity to actually look at all the candidates fairly and be able to fill the seats. However, as everyone knows, Corey is the only townhome representative in our board, and he has now upgraded himself to a single-family home. And, you know, in all fairness, we would like to see some sort of representation from the townhomes in the on the board. So there is only one townhome owner that actually volunteered to be on the board. And we did get the opportunity to meet this person and get to know who they are and what their intentions are with the community. And I think that he will make a good fit with our board and be able to have a lot to bring to the table. Okay, anybody want to say something else about this?
Not very much, anyway.
I wanted to save it for the end, but the person I've been talking about is sitting in this room.
I know, right?
So Mr. Marcello, who's sitting in the middle there, if you could please stand, Marcello. So anybody else want to say something?
No, right now, what I was about to say is, we met with him, we talked, and, you know, he got the right mind for the community, for obviously also the townhome area, since, you know, we live pretty much on this side now, you know, this board lives on this side, so we need representation from this side. I hope we get more candidates for the 2 other seats that we have this area. And, but pretty much he's head on and good addition for the community.
Anybody want to say anything about this matter? So anybody want to make a motion to appoint Mr. Marcello? What's your last name, Marcello? I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't want to mess it up. DeFranco. I want to say DiFranco or something. You get mad at me. So Mr. Marcello DeFranco, to take one of our seats that are currently vacant.
I do a motion to put Marcelo DeFranco to seat 5 of the HOA board.
Do I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Mr. Marcello, would you like to join us? Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the microphone.
Is this gonna reach though?
Yeah.
Pull the plugs on. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
So with that in mind, stay tuned. Somebody raising their hand or you just saying hi? Is there anything you would like to say to the community, Marcelo?
I know some of you, I've seen some of you around. We have been in this community for about 2007. So it's a long time, almost one of the first owners in the townhome area. So we've seen a lot, and we obviously care about the community living here for a long time. So hopefully I can help and make the whole community a better place for everybody.
Very well. Welcome.
Thank you.
So with that in mind, like I said, we're going to continue to vet the rest of the candidates. So if you're still on the list, don't think that you're out. We're still considering everybody that's left. I believe there should be about 4 more left. And we'll be reaching out to the ones we haven't spoken to and go through the process to try to get these seats filled as soon as possible. Okay?
And any other volunteer can send it to the email admin@villasolresidence.com. Send your bio. It's not a resume. It's something, how long you've been here, what you can do for the community, and pretty much that's it. And then we go from there and we meet and, we talk a little bit.
All right. All right, moving on to the next item, landscaping. Oh my God. So this is, believe it or not, the #1 complaint in the community. #1. And it's been like that for a long time. We promised that we would try to go out and seek out the best of the best that we could possibly bring to be a sold. We met with Brightview. We tried to, revamp the relationship with Brightview. We've asked them for a bid about probably 3-4 weeks ago now. We're still waiting. They haven't submitted a bid. It kind of tells us that they probably don't want to stick around. In the meantime, we've been trying to get them to get things done that they're contracted to do. And we don't get phone calls back. We don't get emails responded. It's just, initially I was kind of optimistic that we'll get them at least to live up for another couple of months. And it just seems to me like they've shut down. They just don't want to take care of anything. Our palm trees look ridiculous. I've never seen them that bad. And there's grass growing into every planter in every aspect of the way that you could think of. And, so they're costing us a lot of money. So we have made a decision to bid out the contract, and we've reached out to every reputable landscaper in town, most reputable, not to say everyone, but most. We provided you guys, I think, a form. If you don't have it, there might be a couple extra up there that kind of delineates the top companies that we have been able to kind of narrow it down to for the sake of not having so much information floating around. The net thing in all this is that we have been underpaying our landscapers, and we don't know. You understand? But we have been underpaying not because we want to underpay them. We're underpaying them because that's our budget. You understand? So for the services that we're providing right now to the townhomes and to the single-family homes, what you're going to see from those numbers is that the number is much higher than what we pay now. So being board members, we're faced with a dilemma, right? One thing I don't want to do is raise your assessments, because I know that's what all you're thinking. Here comes the bomb. We don't want to do that. We think it's not fair. We think that we collect a lot of money. We have certain expenses, as I mentioned before, the cable bill, mention it again, that needs to be shaved down because it's too high. It's too much to pay for that. But in the interim, we have to have landscapers that are willing to do the work, that are willing to follow instructions, that are willing to do the right thing for the community. That being said, like I said, we narrowed it down to those that are on the list. You can look at the pricing. You can look at what's included, what's not included. So no landscaper basically includes carte blanche all the trees in the community, because they find, all the landscaping companies, most of them don't have their own tree equipment. They have to sub it out. Some do have their tree equipment, but they charge you, by the day or by the tree, and it gets expensive when you start to look at it from that point of view. So I feel that, my personal opinion is that we should stay within our budget and try to get the best services we can, and try to just hold the new company accountable for everything that we're paying for in real time. One other thing I want to mention is that with Brightview, we were prepaying them for services that they have not rendered. So, for example, irrigation inspections, they don't have to do them. They were getting that money anyway on their monthly payment. the mulch that they're gonna lay down supposedly later this year, they got paid all that up front. So now that we kind of are insinuating to them that we're not happy, they basically let us know that we're not getting that money back, that they already ordered the stuff, and, you know, it's just been a little bit of a song and dance. So we were forced with a couple of options, and we weighed this, you know, very heavily to try to see. One option is to stay with them for a couple of months and let them lay down the mulch and let them, you know, live out most of their contract before doing it. But, you know, I think we've all been talking, and it's $25,000 a month for getting nothing back with regards to proper service. So we're reconsidering that. We're here right now to present you with the information. We would like some of your opinions as to what you guys think we should do, because that'll help us make a decision, because it's not an easy one. We stand to risk something no matter what you know, decision we make. But I think in the long run, we stand to gain a lot more. Is there anything you guys want to say about that?
Like Mario was mentioning, we prepaying stuff. So just in perspective, we're paying over $6,000 a month of irrigation inspection. That we find out is a lot of sprinkles, you know, broken sprinkles on the townhomes, that if they do inspections, they're not supposed to be broken, because then the board should know that, hey, this needs to be fixed or whatever report, but we don't have any reports. And the management has tried to find out reports since 2021. So, you know, those repairs is hard.
And not only that, but their inspection fee that they get every month includes repairs beyond the valve, meaning they don't cover the valves or anything towards that, but everything after that, they're supposed to be repairing, and they haven't done it. Go ahead, dude. The current numbers, do we have them exact? I know the figure is $25,000 a month, and I think it adds up about 315,000 or something like that.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to put that. I create that one. That was my mistake.
We'll give you the exact number right now.
312,000.
Could you check that, please?
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Because right now, Mario also added that up, and it wasn't making the same adjustment. So it's around 311, 244. And on the budget, it's showing extra items, extra landscaping, so it add up an extra, yeah, more than that. But as of now, 311, 244 for that contract that we have there, not including the extra that is on the budget for them to do extra landscaping and stuff like that.
Yeah, and one of the gripes they had about that number is that supposedly they signed that contract in 2019, and they said that they were supposed to get a 5% increase every year that they never got, and they're a little upset about it. So they were supposed to submit a bid, and that's why I think they haven't submitted it, because I think their number is going to be a lot higher, and they don't think that we will go for that. So. So what I'm saying is, if you look at the spread there, it's from 549,000 all the way to 316,000. So that's a big spread, right? When you do bids, basically the top and the bottom one are usually not as accurate. So technically, we should be somewhere in the middle, around 400 to 450,000, and we're paying 312. So, you know, that's what I meant by underpaying, not purposely underpaying them, but that's what they're contracted. Correct, but we also have fixed assessments, right? And we have expenses, so I don't think we can afford a $500,000 landscaping bill a year right now. You know, I think we have to cut costs somehow over the next year to be able to go, like Brett, you put it, it's like right now we're paying for a Ford and we want to drive a Mercedes, is what he basically told me. So for us to get to that Mercedes, we have to save some money, and what we're gonna do it. Yes. So we did that. I'm glad you brought that up. I was getting ready to talk about that.
How much money?
So for us to go, let's say, I was just doing kind of like roundabout figures. And I was saying if we were to afford a $450,000 landscaping bill a year, right, we're gonna probably roughly, and don't quote me on this number, it's roughly around $35 to $40 more per unit per month. So, because it'll be about $400 or $500 per home per year to reach that number. So that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to raise the assessment. I think that we could sacrifice this year to go with a lower number that's in our budget. And next year we could come up and get our Lexus or our Range Rover or whatever you want.
But to make it simple, all those numbers has the same scope. So all of them, they're supposed to do cut the trees, they're supposed to cut the palm trees, they're supposed to blow, they're supposed to weed killer, they're supposed to fertilize. All of them has the same scope of work.
Except the
So-
mulch.
Except the
Yeah,
mulch.
Except
well,
one of them doesn't provide the mulch.
yeah, I think two of them, I think two of them.
Oh, yeah, two of them.
Yeah, doesn't provide the mulch, but all of them provide.
They do everything.
Yeah.
And
then
the
one
height
of
of
them,
trees.
give
And the
us
height
the
of
option to pay separate. So
Yeah.
only
They all
when they
have
do the
different
grass, then we pay the grass. When they do the irrigation and we inspect the irrigation or the landscaping committee, obviously it's me, Mario and Jack, then we release the money for the inspections. And then for the mulch, the same way, we're not gonna be prepaying things that we are
Yeah.
not getting.
So that's non-negotiable on whatever contract we're going this time. It's non-negotiable to prepay anything. We're gonna hold on to our money and we're gonna pay them when the services are rendered.
No, I just only got a question. It doesn't, are you guys gonna tell us, like, how many times in a year they're gonna be doing it?
Yeah, everything is in the contract. Like Herman said, all of those prices are based on them providing the same service. I believe it's weekly lawn service. Most of them, I think, are 52 visits a year. Now, not all of them are for mowing because obviously there's certain weeks during this time of the year where during November, December, and January where it doesn't grow as much. So they'll come in during those times and kind of work more on the planters, on the trees, and on the other stuff that requires attention. So, but they'll be here every week. Any landscaper will be here.
They look at it, one visit per week, 42 cuts, so 42 times a year, or thereabouts, or three, I think, less, cuts per week, or cuts per year. And then it also includes things, and everyone's slightly different, we try to use the same parameters, we have fertilization of the lawns, bug control of the lawns, things like that. And then we also actively include things like trees. Big thing I think for our community is palms. And then tree trimming to a height that is, going to take you out when you walk through the trees, or a height in which cars can go underneath. So some of them said that's 10, some were 12. I think even once they did, they would take their trees. So everything's a little bit different, and then we gave the scope, but I think the hardest thing for us as a community is that standard level of service is what we've so used to become. What is that standard level of service, right? Is it, back when the developer was here, the developer was putting in 3 pounds per, unit, and so many linear feet of shrubs per unit, and that would be maintained. And over the years, I think our community, good, bad, or different, how we would look at it, we added things, right? We all added a little planter or the extra tree, right? And now that drives price too. It's done as houses take change in terms of ownership. A lot of that is being marketed or sold as, oh, we take care of your landscaping. Everything's included. And that really isn't right what it is. So we had to go through with a lot of these companies and try to define what is that standard level of service, so that we can communicate to that to you as a community to say, this is what you could expect them to do. If you decide to go above and beyond that and plant that extra tree or put the extra bed in, that's something that's going to fall into your jurisdiction. It was a lot harder than I would be, but on average, that's what you're looking at. 52 weeks, 42 mows, tree trimming, again, feet in dimensions, they're very slightly
And also what he mentioned also, we told the companies to tell us if they have a work order process, because we don't want to be answering, or the management answering for every call about the grass. So some companies, they have it, some they don't. So that's another thing that we look at on a company, that they need to have their own work order area where you guys can log in, send the report, hey, I got a broken sprinkler, okay, fix it. You guys do it over there with the company to make it easy. And some companies, like I said, they have it, some don't. So,
I mean, we want to, even as far as asking companies, would you interface with our community? Would you say, I planted, extra bed or palm or whatever? I know it's my responsibility, but could I, as a homeowner, interface with this company? Obviously, they're trusted, they do everything else in the community. Would you interface and cut us out of it and say, hey, you're reputable, would you trim the other 3 palms or whatever on that property? So that was a question we asked a lot of them as well, hoping that we can make it easier for you. They're already.
No, the only thing I was saying is, I mean, we can see the price. The only thing that, later on down the road is, because we always have that problem. We don't know, I know they're gonna do what it's saying over here, but that way, us, the community, we know, okay, they're gonna fertilize, they said, maybe 6 times out of the year.
Mhm.
So it's going to have a ballpark of what we have, and, like we said.
Yeah.
no, as soon as we do it,
For today, we're just trying to provide the information on pricing, and we're trying to get guidance from the owners that are here on where we should lean towards. Don't have any contract from anybody in hand right now. So at the next meeting, we'd have to,
the proper contract.
do a proper contract and execute that contract at the time, and all that information will be on the contract. And we'll try to post it and put it in places that you guys can see it, and it'll be present here to do it as well.
I'd love to have a cheat sheet. Fertilization schedule,
And that's another one, like he said, we asking the companies to provide us a map. This song, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then fertilize. It's gonna be like
Like
this.
you said, we
Oh,
can
yeah.
have it in.
And that's not gonna be done. Yeah, whoever.
I have your email, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'll do is, we'll send you copies of the proposal, so you can look at them and look at all those details. The reason why we didn't do it for everybody is because we felt it would create confusion, and some people don't understand it. It's a lot of information on there. It
It's
took
like
us,
6-7 pages.
it took us several days, but that we can make available to anybody. We can even put a folder on the website with all the proposals in there, and then you guys can go in and take a look.
Yep.
That's fair.
Didn't we have Blade Runners before as one of our mowing service?
Say it again, I'm sorry?
Blade Runners.
Yes,
I see they're here. We had issues with them.
correct.
I
And
live in a townhouse. I had issues with them.
correct. So I'm glad you brought that up. We were gonna bring that up, believe it or not. And like I said before, they were here when I bought here, right? And I think I didn't have any particular issue with them. However, I know some people have, you understand? And how to say it, they right now are driving a hard bargain, as you see that no one else is willing to give us the pricing that they give us. There's a lot of things aside from the maintenance contract that need to be done in the community right now that are increasing the price of everything. And what, the problem that they cited, Blade Runner cited, is that there was no oversight and things got away from them. And they're saying that they would put proposals in, they were never approved. We weren't there. We don't want to speculate. We don't want to talk about what happened then. We told you guys at the first meeting here that whatever we do, we want it to be a fresh start. If you had something serious like that, you feel that you are really, really, not happy that they're coming back, we could talk about it and see, what it is and see, because, we have to do what's best for the community. But, I mean, if you tell me, I'm giving a bad example, but that, there was some type of like sexual issue with somebody in the community or something like that, then that's a different story. We have to take it more seriously, or that they hurt somebody. But, if it's something that, they cut your plant, which is, I think that a lot of the complaints we've gotten is that they cut plants that they planted there before, and they ripped their screens and they broke their sprinklers. And these are all things that happen with all landscaping companies. You understand? They're all going to do it. Now, one thing I tell you is we have a landscaping committee now, and we hope that it gets bigger. Right now, there's only 3 of us, but we hope more people join us. And our goal is to provide that oversight, that if you put in a work order and say, Blade Runners broke my sprinkler today, and you take a picture of it and send it in, that Blade Runners is going to be there, or whoever company it is, it doesn't have to be Blade Runner, but any company, it's going to be there within a reasonable time to fix that. You understand? And if they broke it, they're going to fix it at no cost to you. You're in the town. Where are you in the town? Are you in Biotera?
Oh, so that's right.
So let me speak to that a little bit, because we kind of glanced over it before, but when we paid our first set of bills coming on this board, there were some bills that just stand out at you, you know? There's water bills of nearly $3,000, water bills of $2,000, month to month for about 10 months that's been going on. And I'm like, why would anybody spend so much money on water? It's water. So we asked Brightview to come and justify this. What's going on? And they said, oh, we'll send you the reports. We've been doing it. We send proposals. No one wants to fix anything. So we went down there, took a look at your clock specifically, because that was the one with the most money. And I can't tell you the disaster that sprinkler system had. There was geysers everywhere. Okay, there was just water everywhere. And I can't believe they were running those sprinklers like that, you know, because it's a waste of water.
No, because.
Or maybe they turned it on.
No. Because what, already your area is fixed. We're missing one huge leak, and we cannot turn it on because we need to remove a tree.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later in the.
It's on Riachuelo, and that's zone, when you stop that leak, we need to stop it by zone. So we cannot keep wasting money on water. So we stop that only that zone.
So to answer your question, whatever landscaping company that comes on board will have an irrigation contract, and all of the townhomes irrigation will be brought up to speed. Everything will be functional and working properly, immediately, within the first month or two. As soon as we can get it done, literally, whatever one we got, that's part of the plan. This is why we don't want to spend so much money on maintenance, because we can use some funds to fix the problems we have right now. And we'll talk about that tree that Herman was talking about that we couldn't fix, because you'll see it's a big problem. But
That's like.
Ours are on at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
so yes, and that's the other thing, that the sprinklers come on in the middle of the night so that you won't see them come on, but you should still be wet when you come out of your house in the
And
morning.
that's another one. I try to fix as much as the clocks as possible, because I see a lot of them at 11 in the morning, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That damages the breath. So I put it on.
Via Palma is the only place right now that has non-functional sprinklers at all.
Because
And there's a reason for that. Apparently none of your clocks work. There's a lot of issues there.
we already checked it.
Yeah, so what we did, we saw these water bills. What we did is we tried to do our due diligence by trying to figure out how we can lower the water bills, because we're wasting all this money on nothing. You understand? So we went and we repaired emergently all the stuff that was leaking really badly, so at least we can water most of our landscaping and not waste water. That's what we did. That's been done. So in Riachuelo, we'll talk about the tree later. How's that? We have another item, but just to answer your question, everything that's sprinkler at the townhomes will be fixed. With the single family homes, it's a little different. We do the inspections, we tell you what's wrong, but the owners are responsible for the sprinkler system there. The HOA does not pay for the repairs for homeowners unless we can prove that the landscaping company did it and hold them accountable.
Yes.
Okay?
One other thing.
Sure.
If the grass dies, who has to fertilize it? Us?
So, correct. No. In the townhomes, so just to let you know, the townhomes, you have the true resort lifestyle of your soul. You're not supposed to be doing anything outside of your house. I know, a lot of people do, but that's our hope, is to get you back where it should have been. You should have everything taken care of, and the HOA should pay for it, because that's our responsibility. Unless it's something that, car came crashing into your townhome, that's a different story, but anything that's maintenance and repair of your exterior, that's normal wear and tear, should be taken care of by the HOA. Okay? So with that in mind, you guys got a chance to look at the numbers. We want to first make the decision whether or not we're gonna stay with Brightview or not. By show of hands, how many people here would like to see us stay with the current company?
Well, let's take that back. So, we're taking that back, I think, it's a community that Brightview has provided us some. Right, so we know that looking forward, they are not our first choice. Right, I think it's more of a decision of how long before that decision is made. And really what it comes down to is these prepays, right? They're kind of holding us over a barrel right now because we have prepaid for almost a year's worth of mulch. Okay, so they're saying that they have purchased mulch. It takes 2 months. If you've been with us for longer than a year, the big truck comes out, it's a third party, and they essentially install it by the home. Okay, so it's not maybe your typical home when you come back. We prepaid for part of it, not the whole. So that's kind of holding over our head. Do we continue to the point where we have them make with that mulch to be here, completely get it installed, get that portion, get what we paid for that we may not get back? There's our risk. Because they may just go, and now we're possibly chasing them around for money to try to get that back. Could be court, could be legal fees, who knows, right? Or do we stick with them long enough to get that mulch in place that we prepaid for, get the money's worth, but it's going to cost us because we may have to keep paying them the prepaid, so the money every month until they can get it installed. Because right, they've told us it takes a couple of months to order this mulch. So we may have to pay them for 2, maybe 3 months before we can get it installed and try to recoup that money. Now, if they don't do it properly or if they don't do it up to par, we're holding their payment, or we can hold that last payment from them. And now they're chasing us for money, opposed to us trying to chase them to the kids. Chris, can I explain that correctly?
I lost you at the end.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's what position do you want to be? Do you want to be chased or do you want to do the chase? I'd rather be chased because it makes them come to us to try to get their payment, which gives us the leverage to be able to say, well, yeah, but you didn't do the job. Or, go fix these two things to provide this service, which your contract required, which you didn't, and then you will release your final payment. I'd much rather be in that position than to have to be like, I took $5,000 to do X, Y, and Z. You didn't do it, now send your crew come out here to fix it. Maybe we'll get there, sometime next week, maybe maybe we'll get around to doing it, maybe they do it right, maybe they don't. But if I'm holding their last check, they're going to come out and do it right. So I think the message that's really trying to be conveyed is I think everybody's on the same page about switching companies. The question is when do we do it? Do we pull the trigger now, just to get your stuff and go, and then hope we can get our prepaid back? Or did the mulch get installed, or wait for the contract to get installed? Or do we kick that can down the road 2 months from now, let them do that job to our satisfaction, then give them notice that they're out and substitute in another company? Right, so I come back and forth with the guys a little bit. I'd much rather be chased than to have to go chase them for money. So my recommendation was that we kick the can down the road a couple of months. But there's risk on both sides of that. It's like Herman said, here every month we're paying. What was it?
Too much is 8,000. So we're gonna be losing $12,000. So I better lose 12,000.
We might.
Yeah.
So part of that contract that they have is the
To the
inspections, which clearly they haven't been doing because we've got major issues around the townhomes with busted sprinkler lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the concern is that if we say, all right, 2 months from now, we'll give you a 30 days notice after the mulch is installed, we've now spent another $12,000 in inspection fees, which we may or may not get value for, right? So there's exposure on both sides of this issue, which is why it wasn't an easy decision, which is why they're asking you what you think. should we say, no, you guys are done and we'll see what happens? Or should we wait and get our mulch, then say you guys are done? Because there's risks on both sides of that equation.
I think they're missing a
Yeah.
piece of information that I think would help them understand that better. So the mulch bill is just under $30,000. And we pay that over 12 months. So basically now going into September, that's 9 months of that $30,000 that we've already paid that's in their possession. So the remainder that we have left to pay them on that between now and December, we haven't given them them yet, but it's other money that's going to be given to them over the next couple of months. Plus, we're losing on the irrigation. I have my personal suggestion is that we end them as early as possible so that we stop giving them money, because they're going to come up with other reasons and other things, and they can break other things while being here and make more money while we're letting them stay here. That's the way I think. And I think that if we hold their money, I don't think we should pay them right now, until they deliver the services that they have to deliver between now and the contract ending. And that being, if they give us mulch or give us our money back, but they got to do it. Because we got to hold their hands to the fire, and I assure you that if this board takes that approach and this community takes that approach, that I think that Brightview will make it happen. That 2 months will become 2 weeks, and they'll make it happen. And they'll do it right because they know that we're digging into their pockets. And, if we're late on the payment, it's a $400 hit for a month if we're late on the payment. So do you want to lose $400 for 1 month and get them to do it? Or do you want to continue to lose an extra $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000 every month for the next 3 months for another $18,000? So that's my suggestion. If this was my home, that's what I would do. But it's our home, so we have to do what's good for everybody.
And also what I mentioned, we had 2 meetings with them and many communication, and what we saw was this kind of like, they don't care, pretty much. That's their attitude. We're trying just to reason with them just to see how we can work, and they were like, no, that's it. So, on my opinion, I will do that as well, because that's a lot of money every single month for things they don't do. For that reason, moving forward, every company that comes here to work, everything needs to be separate. To prevent this, be paying upfront for something they're not giving us. It's $6,000 a month.
And
Just on irrigation.
And keep in mind, we did 2 meetings in the last, month and a half that we've been here, and we've made zero progress to get them to do anything. They haven't done anything. They haven't fixed anything at all that we've asked them to do. They haven't even provided the reports that we've asked them.
They told us they had the report the last 6 months, still waiting.
So I guess the first question is, by a show of hands. Oh, go ahead. Sure. Till the end of till they put the mulch in. So the mulch is estimated that will be delivered between October and November. So they're giving themselves that month leadway. So yes, so one option is we terminate the contract within the next 30 days and withhold their payment until they lay down the mulch and make everything right. Okay, the other option is that we keep paying them $25,000 every month and continue to get the service that we're getting, and until they put the mulch down, until they feel like putting the mulch down. And then we could terminate the contract at that time. So it's a matter of a month versus 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. We have 2 questions online. Jason, you're on. Is this on? Is he unmuted?
No, man, I was just raising my hand to vote. That's it.
That's it.
So we have another question from Mark Austin.
Go ahead, Mark, you're on. You got to unmute yourself, Mark. Right hand top.
Unmute myself.
There
Now
you
I'm
go.
unmuted. There I
Got
am.
it.
Do you hear me now, guys?
We hear you loud and clear.
Hey, good, good. First thing I want to say is I'm real happy to see you guys tackling that. That has been a sore subject with me for all the time that I was associated with the board. I tried to get inspections and to get them to fix things. And it was just like talking to a brick wall. And you know already exactly that feeling because you've been getting it too. No reports, no help, no nothing. As far as I'm concerned, I think your idea of getting rid of them as fast as you can possibly do it is the correct way to do it. And if I have to say it, if I was down there, which I didn't make it down today, I'd be raising my hand and jumping up and down saying, yes, 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 please get rid of them. We can do better than that, even if it costs a little bit more money.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your comments. Anybody else?
I saw again in the audience. Anyone else? Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, here's how we get now. We paid about 75% of the 30,000, which is 22,500. It's starting to pay for services not yet rendered for a year. And then we're also talking about $6,000 a month, which could go up to 90 days. So you have potentially $18,000. So you have about a $4,500 difference that we're really risking, is what it sounds like. And yet we're working with an organization or a company that has not met their end of the bargain, which means if they've had 9 months to not meet their end of the bargain under this contract, so for this fiscal or just for this calendar year, then really after 9 months, what's to say that they're going to start today? And even if they do get themselves or get their back out of the corner, why would they go back? Why would they not default back to their regular way of operating? Mm-hmm. So it seems as though if you have $4,500 on the line with $500 homes in here, I think we need to just be responsible. We need to stay up, but at the same time, let's at least get what we've agreed upon so that we can also live in a way where we're happy to pay people for the honest work that they did. They're happy to receive the payment for the honest work that they did. So if they haven't done it until now, we're probably not going to change.
Well said, man. Could have done better. That's exactly true. Thanks.
I have been asking for service since 2019. I have hundreds of emails requesting landscape services without response.
Yeah.
We are talking about 3 years.
Yeah. So with a show of hands, how many people like the option of staying on board till they lay down the mulch and then pulling the plug on them? Okay, very good. We got 2 people in here. That's good. How many people think we should give them 30-day notice and find another company as soon as possible? Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Appreciate that. You guys want to say anything else?
I like the discussion. I think the discussion was great. Thank you for participating.
There was 3 hands.
No? Oh, the 3 hands for the votes out the line. Okay.
And that's another one that what we said moving, when we came to the board is that we want to include in every decision the community. And that's what everybody needs to start, keep coming, online, and that's what we're doing everywhere, because we need everyone's help, because we don't want to make the decision only us, including you as, you guys are the body. This is our money. This is our community. So thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
With that in mind, does anybody want to make a motion to terminate Brightview's contract?
I do the motion to terminate, to give the 30-day notice cancellation to Brightview.
Do I hear a second? Second by Marcelo. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Council, will you draft a letter to Brightview? 30-day notice, and let us know when it's delivered?
It's already drafted.
All right. We wanted to be objective, guys. To the bid, because, we're not gonna vote. We're gonna vote, yeah, right? So, you want to just ask that now?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it or want me to do it?
No, you.
Okay, so the next thing is now, we're canceling the contract in 30 days. Based on those numbers that we gave you and the information that you were able to acquire today, can you give us an idea more or less which one of those companies you think we should consider? Keep in mind that Blade Runners is giving the best option that will not require any raise in assessment, because it's basically a little tiny bit more than we're paying now. The other ones will require some sort of finding revenue from somewhere to make it happen, because it's, the next one is a substantial increase from where we're at now. Almost, what is it, like 100,000, right?
Yeah.
It's 100,000 a year more than what we're paying now.
If you've been to the other communities that these other companies do and see what they've done and talk to their board. So
Yeah.
actually get their-
Yeah, I have done it. I went,
Yeah.
because I got the most time, I
Yeah,
went.
just tell them the communities you
Yeah,
visited.
when, I don't know the top of my head, the neighborhood, but the ones that I went, as soon as he put the, no him himself, he received a proposal from down to where I went and see it, because I wanna, because it looked good, the proposal and everything, so I went, and that community, so, but it's like this one, pretty much, having the same issues, and then I went to another community from US Long, looks good, expensive, so, but it's look good.
And
We agreed to it.
And
but,
keep in
yeah.
mind that we're a unique community.
Yeah.
90% of the communities out there do not provide landscaping to single-family homes. They only do townhomes.
Mhm.
You understand? So when you go to look at those communities, it's hard to gauge apples with apples, because the homeowners are doing their own grass there, and the only ones getting the benefit of the townhomes. You want to say something? I think you're scratching your head. I think you're raising your head.
And then, all the contracts will have 30 days notice, so
30-day termination.
termination clause.
Mhm.
So anything happen in 30 days, they have to be out. For that reason, we don't want to be prepaying things. For that reason, we want to only pay for the grass, pay for the irrigation, pay for the mulch separate, so we don't get on this battle of, losing money.
Yeah, and the other issue is that Blade Runners knows the community. They've been here before. They know where their failures were, and they're willing to make it right. And like Herman said, if they don't, we find somebody else and we move on. But with the time frame that we have and the money that we're bleeding out right now, I think this is the best option.
And next year, if we have the capital, and we can go to a good company, we can go, because we deserve the good service.
Yeah, I would love to see this being manicured to the T with everything working. That's the way it should have been from the beginning. So by show of hands, how many people think we should go with US Lawns? I'm gonna, the proposals will be posted online. We're not voting, on the contract today. We're voting to decide which company we're gonna utilize. The contract will be worked out and presented at the next meeting.
Just one quick question. Are they gonna be here that we can talk to them?
The next.
Next meeting, we can bring them, sure.
Yeah, at least this one is so we know what we're thinking moving forward, so then on the next one, we can just decide completely what we want.
We'll post the proposals. I think what you're getting at is we're gonna wait till next month to show you the proposals. But the proposal will be on this week at some point through the weekend. We'll try to see if we can get them into the website, and you can look at them at your leisure. Well, what's that? We're voting based on price and inclusion of services, comparing apples to apples, but we're not voting on the parameters of the contract at this time. We kind of mentioned the things we're gonna seek for in the contract. And like I said, we'll be back at the next meeting to actually vote on the contract.
And like I said, I know what you mean. So the scope that we gave this company is the same. They have to do the grass, the 2 feet cut, the trees, the palms, fertilize 6 times a year, mulch. The only ones that they don't include mulch is there, I think it's 2 of them. The other one include the same thing. And then just the height of the trees and palm trees.
Maybe just to make it simple.
Mhm.
Of the proposal that we have, there's really only one proposal that's in our price. range.
That we can afford, correct?
So really the question is anybody interested in raising their assessments for a higher
Well,
price range?
yeah.
Because if the answer to that question is no, the rest of it's academic, right?
Well, that too, yeah.
And keep in mind that there's a bunch of other proposals to get this community back up to speed, so we're gonna need money at the end of the
So
day.
if you're gonna do a strong, to see if there's any interest in raising assessments for a higher level service
Yeah.
landscape.
Okay.
If the community's not interested in doing that, then really.
Then we have no choice.
Right?
Yeah, because like he mentioned here, we have some repairs of a tree that we need to cut down. That's over $2,000. We have, more of different trees that we need to, cut because we've been 4 years without trimming trees, palms and all that. That's gonna cost us a lot of money, over $10,000 easy. So,
With that said, so if you're going with blade runners, are they gonna have like a cap as far as how tall the palm tree is?
Yeah.
It's on the sheet, you get a copy. I think it's 20 feet, right? They went a little higher than,
Yeah.
most of the companies, I think, only cover up to 12 feet. And they went up to 20 feet.
I mean, if you look at this comparison list, they look like the no-brainer option, right? I think to me, and I don't have the benefit of being in the meetings they had with these companies before, I just joined. But with that caveat, what I would say is that if we're gonna review the contract in the next meeting, then we will have an opportunity to put some guardrails on that contract to make sure that they have to comply with the contract, and then we have options to, retain some payment if they don't do it, instead of what we have today as a contract, because I understand that we still have to vote on the contract.
Yeah.
So that still gives us the opportunity to make sure that the contract gives us some tools to make them, to hold them accountable to what they said they were going to do, So they seem like the no-brainer option. And at the same time, we still have next month to review the contract and make sure that the contract gives us a tool to hold them accountable. That's, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris.
So, I mean, this is just kind of getting an idea of where the community wants to go. Because if they're saying, no, we need to investigate, maybe the 400,000 level, we call those guys.
Yeah.
If the community's like, no, not interested in 400,000, we're going with 3, we call those guys and bring them in here and say, all right, show me your contract.
Yeah.
Right? So this is just kind of getting an idea which way we go with this. So we're not running down leads that we don't need to run down.
because right now we cancel obviously the 30 days notice to bribe you. And so we need to find something, at least to provide us a service and to keep our assessment.
And in all fairness, all the bids that are on there all said that they can get going within a couple of weeks, except for Grasshoppers is the only one that wanted a month or two before they can get started, because they don't have the equipment that they need to take care of us, and they're gonna buy everything to service us. That's why their bid, that's why their bid's so high, yeah.
Give it one company, and then we'll have 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks to figure it out. Because it's giving 30 days notice.
I understand.
Yeah, but we can, if we needed to, we can do it a special meeting.
Contract you want.
So-
They should be both together. You should be getting rid of one
Mhm.
and bringing one and bring it tonight.
In a perfect world, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Correct.
It seems like you're jumping the gun.
Because we have a company that's stealing our money and making us bleed, and we're not gonna stand there and take it. Excuse me?
You get 2 or 3 weeks with no rest time.
We've been here 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
And
without-
we,
No,
I,
I mean, you got 30 days.
Correct.
Tomorrow's the letter.
so you're implying that we won't be able to get another company to start on time, is what you're implying?
Yes. Because.
And I assure you that we've covered
We
that.
have, yeah.
You have to trust that we've covered that.
If you vote on that contract next month,
Correct.
30 days are up. So you just said.
Correct.
It's gonna be 2 weeks.
No, because the letter's not going out today. It's not going out right now, this minute.
Then tomorrow.
All right, you wanna hold it for another week? I mean,
It doesn't matter.
I just
because
think
we
we're-
can do, we can, this is.
we already
something-
vetted these companies. They've all committed that they can start on time. We just have to let them know,
And they start.
and we can do the paperwork at the next meeting.
Yeah.
They would have not started by the next meeting. If everybody at the next meeting says, oh, this is not what you presented last time, we don't want these guys, we want to go with the other one, even if it raises our assessment, we can still do it.
So what,
And we pay maybe for 1 month for that company to do it, and then we'll switch again. I mean,
so
everything's a 30-day contingency. So if we don't like something, 30 days, we're out and off to the next company.
right, but what he's saying is that because the new company will need 2 weeks to start, then we will have those 2 weeks without service. So why don't we send the letter in 2 weeks? So then we have covered until the next company starts, or in 1 week, and
So
we have
then-
only 1 week without service.
The issue what I have with that is that we would have to pay them another month.
With
Oh.
this,
So that's the thing, we're gonna incur another month of expense.
Right.
yeah.
It'll be cheaper to pay a independent, lawn company to come and service us for 2 weeks than it is to pay Brightview to service us for a whole month.
Could we not send this letter on September 1st for termination on October 1st? There's our 30 days. We have our next meeting a few weeks prior to the end of the month.
Yeah,
That
it can be
gives
done.
us time to sign that contract and for the, to get it ready. Because right now, we're gonna have to prorate it, we send it emails today.
No, it can be done, so it can be first on the first. Yep.
Hey, I'm willing to move the meeting forward, that if this is gonna be like a big deal for everybody,
Yeah.
let's just meet earlier.
Yeah.
Let's meet on the 15th then, and let's just make it happen. I mean, I think, you know, I'm trying to save us money. I'm trying to get us where we need to go so we can get better services and hold on to our cash. You know, I would never put ourselves in a position where we won't have a landscaper, you know, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and just for that item.
and we'll just reconvene in the middle of September and vote on that contract so they have enough time to get started by October 1st.
Since you guys said you already paid most of the money up front, that's the reason I voted to say, have Brightview put the notes down and then terminate this.
Oh, yeah, because they have to put it, yeah.
Because they always put the motion up there.
Yeah, so that's what I said. That's what I said. If we hold their September payment
They have to.
and then get notice that they're getting terminated, tell them you'll get the money when the mulch goes down. Then they will bring the mulch in September or October instead of waiting November. If we don't do anything, they're gonna bring it before Thanksgiving.
Because I know I have to clean up after they come.
Yeah.
And I'm always cleaning, so.
I hear you. So does that sound fair? Should we maybe make a motion to change our meeting then for next month? Oh, no, we're gonna do a special meeting?
Yeah.
We'll do a special meeting on what day we're gonna do that at?
Can do it on that day.
I could do the 8th. No, the 8th I'm away, I'm sorry. I can do the 15th, I can do. Thursday, February 15th, I mean,
September, yep,
September 15th.
7 PM.
Okay.
Yep. The special meeting only for the contract.
Just for review of the contract and approval. No, we didn't get that far.
Yeah,
We're working on it.
it.
We're working on it, we're just doing different.
Yeah.
So does somebody wanna, did we already ask them?
Well, we did.
So, like Chris said, is anybody here in favor of raising assessments and going with a more expensive company? That's really the question. Nobody.
So.
Okay, anybody online commenting to that? No? Okay, so everybody agrees then that we need to stay within our budget and kind of see where this takes us. Okay, so does somebody want to make a motion then that we get, actually, we don't need to make a motion for that. We're gonna come back with the contract. Right. For the special meeting, we gotta notice it, the special meeting, we gotta notice it.
Yeah, 48.
Yeah, 48 hours out. Yeah, so, but then the other bids, you don't need to worry about, you just go out.
Just bring that
Correct,
person.
so we'll just bring that contract in on the 15th.
And the person will come and answer any question.
I'll do my best to try to get a copy of that contract on the website for you guys to review ahead of time, so you kind of know the information before you get it. Okay? Okay, we're gonna skip a couple of items because we also have some management companies here. As you guys know, Infomark basically has monopolized our community. They run the CDD, they run the HOA. And, you know, I came in objective into this seat. I wanted to work with the people we had. I wanted to be able to give everybody a fair chance. Within 3 days of us, within a week of us taking office, our manager's gone. They haven't gave us another manager yet. There's someone in Texas that's managing everything for us. So obviously inspections aren't getting done. Nothing's really getting done. Everything is just email me for this, email me for that, phone call for this, phone call for that. And I think we're paying them top dollar because now so anyway, to make the long story short, we're bidding out the contract. We have, three management companies here. I just want 5 minutes of our time to listen to what they have to say. They're gonna be quick about it and they're gonna step outside. And if you guys have any questions immediately, you can join them outside and ask them questions, okay? First, we have Bob here. Bob's our representative for Artemis Lifestyles, which is also, I know somebody's gonna say it, used to be our management company before Infomart. So Bob has some big shoes to fill. He's here to talk to you for 5 minutes. Oh, wow. Nice.
Fellow management company, I have 5 minutes. We're gonna get rolling. We're gonna step up any questions you guys have for us. And so that everybody fine with it. We hang out there, we'll go one-on-one, we'll answer questions up there. We're gonna give you the field right now. And then right after this, we'll be hanging out in 5 minutes.
Oh, boy. All right, I'll talk really fast. Hi, my name is Sandra Brandesmal. I'm the CEO of Artemis Lifestyles. I first would like to thank the board for allowing us to be here today to tell you a little more about Artemis. And thank you all. I know it's late, and you guys probably tired, so I'll try to get through this as fast as I can. Before I start, I'd like to introduce the team here with me. You've already met Bob and business development, and this is Belinda Wilhelmsen. She is our senior director. So Artemis was founded in 2019 with the merger of two management companies long-standing in Central Florida. One was Titan Management, which some of you may be familiar with because we used to manage you guys. The other was Aegis. The merger of those two companies, I like to say we at Artemis got the best of both worlds. So Titan is very focused on technology, innovation, which we have quite a bit of at Artemis. Aegis is vacation rentals, short-term rentals, and high-end enjoy. So with that, Artemis is a little different than the Titan that you once knew. So with Artemis, we have good management, as you can see. I have another Artemis over here. Yeah, we're having fun, as well as our management team. So people like Linda and Bob who are all in last year. So there has been a change in management, as well as many of our team members are probably different than what you know. We've also grown. So the management team is focused on a vision of growth and a vision of excellence. So we manage over 150 community associations throughout Florida. With the mission of bringing excellence, delivering excellence to associated management. Now, excellence is an easy word to say, not as easy to achieve, right? And it's important for us that it's not just words, that it is something that's woven into the fabric of our culture. And how do we do that? Well, we listen. So, the people like you guys, the community, listen to our boards, we listen to each other. We hold ourselves accountable for the biggest doing go right, we fix it. We're transparent. You know, our office is right down the road. You can meet with me anytime. I'm there all the time. We invite the boards to come into our office. We have roundtables and discussions so that we can be better, but we also are able to provide you a level of service so that you can love where you live and not worry about it. So love where you live, love where you work. Those are taglines you'll see all over our social media. And it's interesting because if I were to poll you guys and say, what makes you love where you live? I get 10 different answers, rapture. Everyone has a unique perspective on that. For us, that's difficult, but not so much because all three of us are going to come up, we're going to talk to you. We're all going to tell you we have great CAMs, we have great accounting, we have full service management, but it's what makes us a good fit for your community. And for us, it's because we build community. That's what we do. So we do all that stuff. We do it really well. We have decades of association management experience. We have a strong accounting team. We have full service, so everything, architectural, association management, customer service, we have it all. But how do we pull it together so we best serve you? That is what we bring because we're not so rigid. We are a company that's flexible, we're agile, and we're able to customize our approach to what your community needs. So we do that by listening to what you have to say first and foremost, and then looking that into what you guys need how we can best serve you. So Belinda's going to tell you a little bit about community association management and what we have offered to your community.
Good evening. Thank you guys for having us. So some of the services we offer on the CAM side, that's what I handle is the community association management side of the company. We offer on-site positions. We offer portfolio plus, which that's a portfolio can, except you can have additional support, throughout the week if you need, if you need help, like extra violations you need to done, things like that. So one thing I think that we stand out on is we have a layer of cans or management. So you always have access to someone to the company. So if you were to call and don't get your can, you would always have access to a director. And then after that, you would contact me. And we do get the board members, our cell phone numbers, so that we're always accessible. So I think that that's one thing that we have to offer. Really.
And, I said, Artemis is different than Titan of the day. There's two things that are still the same. One, our corporate headquarters are 2 miles.
We're gonna have 3 minutes.
That's okay.
Okay.
We are 2 miles from you, which is important. So it's our corporate headquarters, not just a satellite office. And what that means is that all of our support services, you have an ARD question, it's right there. You have a customer services, it's right there. We are open business hours, bilingual, we have people there in this camps, right there. So that is very important to you as a homeowner. And the second thing is our roots are the city. We are owners of the company are from the city. They own up in the city. We support this community. We're always super excited. From the city, so it's really fun for us to really get involved.
I don't have a flowery language. But yes, so working artists is a lot of cool things, a lot of technology. It's really easy for you guys to pay what we gotta pay. If you want to bring a work order, all those things, we got portals for all that stuff. Super easy. All one-stop shop. Top of that, customer service. If you guys need anything, customer service has your entire file. Has your entire file. You can call the corporate office wherever you like. They got access to it. You don't have to get in touch with that Karen that's busy doing 1,500 different things. Just call them, call up, or you call a Karen. If you have Karen's free, you can even take a hold of them. Then the customer service will help you out, access to everything. In the event you need to talk to your Karen, but you can't talk to your Karen, like what it said, call your senior Karen. Customer service can forward you over to senior Karen. I tell you, there's some situation we want to send you back. If you talk to the CEO, about a problem you can't get resolved, whatever's going on, we have to handle that stuff. It's way easier than letting it fester somewhere when we don't know what's happening.
That's true. Those are not just words. Like, we are accessible. We are the people who are going to be working really hard with their
Yeah, that's mostly organized. That's what we do. Transition. A lot of communities are concerned about transition. We've got a whole team that knows what they do it every day. They know how to get in there. If anybody decides to make this marriage happen, they're going to dive in a month and a half, 2 months before to start getting everything lined up. So they want the ground running, good to go. That's all I've got. We're going to be out there. Anything else before we?
No, if you have any questions, I know we require management. Some people have individual questions they may want to ask. We're happy to answer. Transparency is very important to me. I'm happy to answer any questions, any concerns, or anything you guys want to talk about. I'm available. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, guys.
I have a question for Mark.
Give me 1 second, Mark. They got a question online. Sorry.
Sure. So step out. We understand.
You're fine, man. You're fine. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, guys. Hi, my name is Mark Gosden. For the folks from Artemis, I used to be a director of the board, and I resigned prior to the new board being put in. The problem I have is my experience, personal experience with Artemis as Titan and as Artemis. It was not very good as a board. Before anything bad happened, we had a hard time dealing with Artemis. I'm sorry, ma'am, but you guys had our money stuck in a bank in Arizona that we had to go to the federal regulators to get the association's money back. We had a hard time with that. You fought us over your contract. 30-day notice wasn't good enough. We had a lot of animosity and hard feelings. And so it's my recommendation with experience, guys, on the board, you guys don't contract with Artemis. Please don't. I'm sorry. I hate to do that to someone who's come in there and been really enthusiastic. It's a downer, but I am talking to you from experience. Do not work with these people.
Okay,
Thank
thank you, Mark. Mark, we appreciate your candid comments, but please let Ms. Diane answer your questions or your comments, please.
By all means, please let her talk.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your comments. And like I said before, transparency is my thing. So I'm super happy to address your concerns. And I apologize that you feel that way. It never is our intent at Artemis to do that. Look, Artemis has been around for a long time. Titan Management has been around for a long time. We are members. We have a license by the PPR. Never been clean. We have, Better Business Bureau, not an issue. I believe what we're talking about here, and I did dig into it because I was not there at that time, nor was the management team, as I told you. A new team has moved over. There's new management, but my understanding was that the transition pretty poorly. And it's really important that we talk about transition and make sure that happens. Because when you don't give notice to a management company and you tell them one day they're managing you and the next day they're not, that does cause issues there. I know that Artemis as a company would never hold anyone's money. It's not our money, it's the community's money, it's in a bank account. But process has to happen to transition that. I feel 100% confident that there was no wrongdoing there, nor was there intention of wrongdoing at all. I would like to repeat that because these are allegations that are very hurtful. There was no wrongdoing there. The money was all transferred over. This was a bad transition, unfortunately, and maybe there was animosity, and that I apologize for. Again, I wasn't there, but we as a company stand by the actions that we did.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, sorry about that, Mark.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
All right, good evening.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Young. I'm with the entire management group. Thank you all for taking so much of your time. I know this is an important topic. So we're given a few minutes to just essentially discuss what it is we can do for your community and all the communities that we service. We are a full service association anyway. We provide all the same luxuries, resources, and benefits that the majority of us do. In fact, I'm very familiar with the two that you're going to see tonight. We all have online portals, so that we have a resource for you right there. Whenever you need something, you don't have to wait for us to open our doors or to be there available for you. We put everything you need right there. You want to make payments, you want to check documents, you want to see if you have a balance, you want to see if you have a violation, boom, it's right there. You don't want to look from your computer, we've got a phone app for you. Everybody knows apps nowadays. You can look at everyone. We make it easy for you. Now, customer service, one of the most important things. Something the board shared with me is about responsiveness and either the lack of it or how it was treated previously by your current management. Well, our standard is 40 hours. 80% of it is 24 hours, but we allow 40 hours. Why? Because some things might take a little bit longer. Some things might need a little more research. But we have wonderful customer service advocates. My customer service advocates are there to answer just about 80% of anything that you can throw out. If you call, if you email, you come in person. We train with simplicity for that. I want my LPNs doing the important stuff. They gotta be out here checking vendors. They gotta be handling all the action items that your board provides them. They gotta be focused on the important stuff that really impacts your community. You need to check the balance, you need to do this, you need to know how to submit an ARC. That's what my customer service advocacy team is there for, to help you more quickly and effectively. Now, LPNs run the day-to-day operation, but my office structure is simple. Every office has 3 or 4 LPNs, and we have 1 director to receive and manage the 8+ years of experience, knows the in and out of our company, and knows everything they need to know about all the projects around that office. You always have 2 main points of contact. By you, I mean the proverbial you, the board, and your community. You have the LPN, you have the director. The director is there to make sure that the LPN goes on vacation or wins the lottery, but if they got to try, that director's there to help take care of your community. Until we find the next best fit for your community. Now, in the meantime, we also like to make sure that the firm transition, it was just referenced a little bit. You guys may have a transition in your community. You may pick another management company. You're going to be switching from one arena to another arena. We typically have the director handle the transition. In your instance, should we be fortunate enough to be awarded your contract, I would be involved in the transition 100%. I would handle acquiring everything we need to for the operation of your community, for your existing service, and bring it over to ours. I'd be fully involved for what I estimate would be 3 to 6 months to make sure we handle everything that your board finds critical and urgent, so we can get all of that taken care of, prepare for your new 2023 year and budget, make sure communication goes out effectively, make sure as many people as possible know about the transition and what to expect going forward. Effective communication is number 1 at the past. Make sure that is what is taken care of. Again, we make a decision, so we execute the decisions made by your board. That is where we strive, that is where we shine. There's my 10 minutes before you. I know we have short time, and you guys might be a little tired. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer. Remember, because I believe I have 3 minutes. Everything, no. In addition, just in case you want to remember our name, a little bit up here. If anyone that's interested, feel free to grab one, or anything else that I can do at this time.
Well, we thank you very much for coming out, and sorry for the delay. The meeting went longer than we expected.
Understandable.
We'll get to hear from our members and then get back to you, okay?
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. Leland Management is here. Hi.
Hey, everybody. I'm Debbie. My last name is Pulesser. You don't have to pronounce it. This is Debbie Vargas. We're both directors with Leland. We're a family-owned business. We've been in business in Florida. Actually, we started in Missouri, and we branched out and we just parks office, Tampa, and as far north to Jacksonville. We have communities locally, several. There's one of them, including another. We grew mainly by word of mouth. We are family owned, and our corporate office is in Orlando. We have an office in St. Cloud as well. And both fairly close to your community. We do offer online payments that you can do very easily. E-checks are free. If you want your credit card, then of course there's a charge. When we handle transitions, we have a whole transition team that works with the board and keeps them informed of what information we're getting, when we're getting it, if we're lacking something, what we need, and how to move forward. We send out a welcome letter to the community, introducing ourselves, letting you know how a coupon will be sent to you soon, and where to send your payments. So I am going to turn it over to Penny now, just in case I missed anything, because I know we're trying to cover everything in a short amount of time, so.
Thanks, Ed. Good evening, everybody. We're Silver's HOA condo management company, so full service meetings have a full accounting department. Have a full ARD, architectural review, architectural committee department. We have a resident support department that we're very proud of.
Thank you.
It consists of all of 20 employees, and they're going to be the operation to see your homeowners. help you with any issues that you may have. Why is that important for us? Because that allows the management, the portfolio manager, to actually dedicate time to the fund. They're not bound down to please the phone call. Now, if there's a call that the manager needs to take, they will receive an email, they'll receive that phone call. We have a collections department, we have a full service IT department, and web development department. So we have a fully fledged site and a fully website. Again, we do payments on there. There is a specific board area that the board can go to, or they'll have access to reports. They'll be able to approve invoices. They'll be able to approve ARB applications for the ARC committee. If you have an ARC committee, they'll have access to that. They'll be able to approve our application.
And you as homeowners would be able to get in there and see your account. If you did worry about a payment, you could go in there and look and see that it was made or wasn't made. If you have a violation, you can see that. So you can see your account. Board members can have a view of everything so they can interact with it and actually approve things. See invoices in real time so they know what they're approving.
So the other part is with the accounting side of it. Our accounting managers are responsible for having a board package to the board every before the 15th of every month. That's the traction. So the manager's job is to have bids and the minutes and everything ready, part of that board package. That comes along with the financial statements. On that website, that packet can be posted for the board area. If there's agendas or anything, any information that needs to be part of the board meeting, it can be posted as well on the website.
And we have a portal too. It's just a web portal through Leland Management. And you can go there and make your payments if you have your own website that you prefer. Any websites that we do, the domain name stays with the association. You own it, not Leland. We help you with the web setup. We'll help you with announcements, e-blast, those kind of things, posting your minutes. But you may have an administrator that wants to get more involved and they can do it too. And certainly we'll help with committees and get you going and here to answer any questions or concerns. But we are a full service management company. We only manage HOAs and associations. We don't do any real estate, we don't rent out. This is all we do, all we do. We've grown really by word of mouth. We both are managers as well as directors, so we do manage property and manage people. And we're the ones who come out and try and tell you about them. If that's because more. And we do a team approach from your manager to the senior manager to the director of that division. Everybody stays in contact with the board to make sure things are going well. So the manager is never left alone. If they don't know something, they come to us. We work as a team. We have the ability to actually get the accounting manager on the phone, talk to them about accounting issues, bring out the CBOO so that they prepare a budget worksheet that then we look at, make the changes that we know as manager are happening within the community, and then it goes to the board to review, make their changes. And then you come up with a proposed budget that you send out to the community, and you're having your budget meeting, and this is what it's going to look like for the budget for the 2023 year. So it's full disclosure. We work very closely with the board. We take that team approach with the board as well. And we really do have a 24-hour callback policy. It's not to mean that, every time when you pick up, okay, we will call you back. But I think you had touched on the voicemails coming through and emails, which is a big help. So we do have bilingual staff, so we've never had a problem with that. We have bilingual managers as well. So we're able to help everybody. And if anyone has any other questions or concerns or anything that you'd like us to answer, we can do that.
Thank you so much. We have a couple items on the agenda. We got to get through it, and they're going to throw us out of here at 9 p.m. So we got to kind of move. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
all I have to say about the management bids is that we're gonna put them on the website so you guys can review them. And we're probably gonna discuss those bids at the next, board meeting. And, oh yeah, so that's something that I meant to mention earlier. Our website, we've activated the survey system. So we're gonna be sending surveys out, kind of getting you feel on these issues so that we know more or less where the community leans, so we can do more what you guys want, okay? Moving forward, so we gotta be out by 9, so I'm gonna be really quick. There's 2 issues that we probably should have put first, but, one is there's a townhome on Villa Palma that has been leaking, had a leaky roof for several months now. And the gentleman has a tenant in there who is kind of aggravated at this point, and no one's really addressed their roof. We had it inspected by 2 companies. One company is a company that the previous board has utilized to repair roofs here, previously. Their bid was quite low. I don't know. I wanted to ask if anybody knows if they've had their roof repaired by the previous board, if they had a good experience, bad experience, because we actually don't know the company, but their bid is very, very competitive compared to the other one. The other company so this company is called Legion Roofing. This is the one that the board had worked with before. And I think they did quite a number of repairs. They inspected, and their bid, I believe, is at almost $1,400, like $1,390 is what they want to charge to repair that gentleman's roof. The other company is called Skylight Roofing. I've had these guys personally fix my roof, and I've had no problems with them, but they are a bit pricier. They're $3,900 for the same repair. So I really, really want to get something approved for this gentleman today, because I really need their roof to be repaired and they can stop the raining in on them, so to speak, and on their tenants. So with that in mind, anybody have any questions? You guys want to talk about the roof at all?
Well, I saw it on the inspection, and it's a huge hole and mold creating and all that, and I think we has to be, because it's been for a month before we got into the board. So
That townhome was sold in January of 2021, and it had the leak then. And I guess the realtor and the previous owner claimed they fixed it, but it really wasn't fixed. So it took a matter of time before the water intrusion started again. So this is a new owner that's been there since 2021. Corey, anything?
No, I mean, I think we need to make it. I'll move on.
Marcelo, what about you? Anything? Anybody have any questions, comments on this matter? Okay, so.
I mean, is there any difference in the way they approach the repairman, or?
Like, we quoted the repair and we quoted the replacement of the entire roof on that building. The price that they both did for replacement is nearly exactly the same. They're like off by like $1,000 or $2, but not much. But on the repair, it makes me leery that somebody wants $1,400, somebody else wants $3,900. You understand? It just doesn't make sense to me. You understand? But, it is what it is, and we have to decide. I would have liked to hear from somebody that had their roof repaired and see what their experience was like and make sure that it's not leaking. But we haven't heard from any other owners that have had repairs that are complaining that it's leaking. So my suggestion is that we consider the lower bid just to patch it up, because that building will need to have a full roof replacement sometime in the real near future.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring, because a lot of roofs need to be repaired. Something in there that it got messed up, and previously they didn't do it by insurance, they're supposed to, but anyway, that's what we need to do, just to patch it up, to prevent more mold coming in, if somebody gets sick.
Okay.
Right, well, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the proposal for Legion of $1,390.
Anybody second that motion?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Aye. Okay, motion carries. We'll get that done as soon as possible. The last issue, I think we might have another minute left here, is, as I told you guys earlier, we did all the repairs of the broken sprinklers. There's one main line of sprinkler water that runs underneath an oak tree at Riachuelo, where the sewer is right there. And when you turn that sprinkler, it's a big river that comes out of it. The water goes right into the sewer, right into the sewer. This is why I think a lot of people had not noted it before, because there's never really any stagnant water there. But it's a very serious leak. We had a couple of companies look at it also. They all kind of agree that the tree needs to go because the broken pipe was caused by the tree roots. I know, a lot of the builder did put down a lot of oak trees here within close proximity of townhomes and of sidewalks, not realizing that in 20 years, those trees have roots that are bigger than the space they're in. So that is one thing that is preventing some of the sprinklers from being run in that area, because we don't want to waste no more water. So the bid from the tree company, which is Blade Runners, that we have in hand is for $2,500 to remove the tree. And then we would have to incur, how much, do you have the other one for the repair of the pipe?
No, that's actually after they take.
So then they would have to assess the damage of the pipe and see how much of it will have to be repaired and what that will cost. The question is, do we remove that tree now? Do we get more bids? Do we wait? But the problem is that there's sprinklers right now that are not working as a result of that line being broken.
Yeah, right now it's one zone.
Huh? Yes, we have two bids, correct.
And one zone is zone A of the areas of the Via Otero area is shut up. So that one, it won't turn on because that's the tree that's having that. Maybe in front of your house, you don't see water on the townhomes area is because of that.
Yes, sir.
Someone told me in the past that the county can cut some of the roots and do some work in the area around the tree to avoid those roots to go back to the same place. I don't know how they do it. But I don't know if that's something, because those trees are beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to table the matter and do more investigation. That I didn't know that. I mean, our roads are private. I mean, they're handled by the CDD.
Mhm.
So I don't know if the county would help us with that. I know that this particular company has other smaller trees in the community that are growing into the townhomes, foundation and patios. And we suggested that they just cut the roots around them. The problem is that then they're making it our problem if the tree falls on somebody or falls on a house, because they want us to sign a waiver that we won't hold them accountable for that. So yeah, that is very inexpensive. Like, for example, one tree that's small by your house, by the apartment, it's $600 to remove, but it's $150 to cut the roots. But then they don't guarantee that it's going to stay up.
Right.
So but I'd like to investigate that. I didn't know that was even an option.
Yeah.
So,
The problem is, my case, the rule is already in fine.
Yeah.
And have been done the structure of my property.
Yeah, I have the same issue.
Yes, and also the air conditioning handle. I have been requesting to take care of the roof from more than 2 years. And the roof is here going.
Yeah, it's just
by my
15
house,
special meeting.
my property. So
Okay.
I think that the roof is a good alternative.
Sorry, Lita, we're running out of time, so we're gonna table the issue and probably see if we can do as much research on other options by the special meeting. Maybe we can add it to that agenda and try to address it then, so we don't have too much time passing by, okay? Yeah, we're tabling so
Yeah.
we're tabling the sprinklers,
Yes.
the tree by the townhouse, and the miscellaneous expenses are being tabled also. Okay, any other closing comments from anybody? Quickly? Yes, ma'am. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk as soon as the meeting's over, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Before you mentioned the economy, the previous hearing counseling, September 22nd. So I don't know what's going to be happening in elections, and they are behind since you guys took over on July 31st until September. That's going to be 2 months. But that could be and you guys need that. Also, what's going to happen with those payments? The website that you guys are providing, who's going to be managing that website?
gonna be you or the management company?
For now, the board, our goal is to hand it over to a management company at some point.
For the vehicle inspection, I'm the one that asked the vehicle inspections. I didn't see any of you guys there. Probably you guys were busy doing all this work. Sorry for that. I was looking for the contract for the attorney, which I wasn't provided, wasn't in there. Also, in regards, welcome to the new person. Have a lot of work to do.
Thank you.
Welcome to that. Landscaping company, you have that in your hands. For some reason, the company that is showing there is the lowest one. Only board members have been using the same company for 5 years and it is out. So, good luck with that. The management company, unfortunately, I apologize about what the older board member says, so that we can say that, okay, that's okay. In regards to the roofs, that's a company that we've been using. I don't know what's gonna happen with the reserve study that I provide you guys, that you need to raise that on the townhouses, that by law. It costs like $100,000 to replace this townhome for the roof, that's required by law, and we have 32 units. And of the landscaping companies that you have here, 3, they are not registered on the zombies. So probably they don't have any license.
Who are those?
Right here, I have down to earth, it says inactive, and also the grasshopper that's located all over this solar, and that was created 1 year ago, according to what it says of zombies. And regardless of the management company,
I think that's misinformation. They're registered and they're licensed and insured in Florida. And I will post their information on the website.
Yeah, because before to hire anyone, after we can do all this and everything has to go to management.
We have to get the proper documentation.
If we don't have it, we need to move forward to another one and do something else. So that's not a big
Let
issue.
him finish.
basically the management company, there is a couple that they are inactive. Like, not the one that you brought here, they are active. But one of them was created only in 2022. So probably that's gonna be,
Which company is that?
it says, Empire Management. It says was created in 2022.
Yeah.
By the new person. So you guys can check on that. And I wish you luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And then I mentioned about about the record search, we don't need to be there, the record search.
Board members are not required to attend record search.
Yeah.
That was their special request. And he was not the only one to request records. There was another homeowner as well. So, we're gonna do what we have to do to make it right. We're not gonna be self-serving to any homeowner. Okay? That being said, also, he mentioned $100,000 per unit on the roofs. Our quotes are $80,000 per building, which is about $20,000 per unit. And we need to raise the money. That's not emergent right now. What's emergent is to stop the leaks, stop the bleeding, try to save money. And trust me, as soon as we get a breather, we're gonna tackle that. Thank you very much. Meeting's adjourned. 9:01. September 15th, special meeting.